Nothing better than watching two liberals duke it
They
out.
were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course, you don't
but
follow
I mean,
this.
saying
You
you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Well, then you would know about this.
I do.
Before we talk about the subject matter of this video, which, by the way, is Bill Maher's, I guess you could say, his little quip back at Rob Reiner, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know how this video is going to go. I'm going to talk a little bit about the background, kind of let you guys know where this sort of stems from. Then I'm going to show you guys the clips, so that way you guys can see the full context itself. And by the way, I like using clips because it actually gives the, it actually lets you hear what they say. This way you kind of know the actual words and the individual itself. We're going to be doing that right there, of course. Then we're going to talk about Rob Reiner, and then I'm going to tell you guys how it is that Bill Maher is still not red-pilled. Now, guys, this whole thing stems back to Sam Harris, basically saying that he was okay with the Hunter Biden laptop story being censored. Now, guys, I'm not going to talk much about that in this video here, but what I am going to do is I'm going to leave the video that I did on Sam Harris. I'm going to leave that video in the description box and in the comment section of this video here, as well as a link to my second channel, Gear Issue 33, which, by the way, is the much more military-driven channel. Also, something else, too, if you guys are having a hard time finding my page, don't worry. You guys can find me on Facebook. I'm leaving the actual, I'll let you guys see exactly what the page looks like. John Claymore, just type it in. And there you guys go. Not to mention I post both Claymore and I post Gear Issue 33 videos to that channel. I'm still working on my actual Instagram. And also something else too. I do finally have my Rumble page up, but I haven't actually finished it. And I have actually posted a couple of videos there, but they're just very short videos as a bit of a collage. Now, with that right there being said, let's go ahead and get to the meat of this video. Now, guys, as I mentioned before, this whole thing stems back to the Sam Harris interview that he did on Trigonometry, where he basically said that he was more than okay with the Hunter Biden laptop story being completely censored as long as it got Donald Trump out of office. Yes, these people are that insane, and Sam Harris, as I kind of made my case in that video there, was kind of an elitist prick, and his Trump derangement syndrome still exists. It's obviously very high. Bill Maher also has it as well, and many people believe that Bill Maher has been red-pilled as of late. I maintain the position that Bill Maher has not been red-pilled, but don't worry, we will be getting to that right there later on in the video after we discuss Rob Reiner and basically what Rob Reiner really and truly is and what he has always been. With that right there being said, though, let's go ahead and watch this in the full context, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
Hey, to have a conspiracy to get rid of somebody as bad as Trump. It's a little bit of a thorny question because once you go down this road, this is sort of where we are in this country. The other side is so evil, anything is justified in preventing them from taking office. Is it?
No. You know what's not justified? Using armed violence to try to kill people in the Capitol. That's not justified.
Answer this question. Huh? Answer this question.
What is
was
the
it
question?
appropriate? The question is,
was
it appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden?
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course. You don't
but
follow
I mean,
this.
saying you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Well, then you would know about this.
I do know about that.
Well, you're acting like you don't.
I do know about that, and I do watch Fox. But the point is, we're going to prove now that the press tried to.
They're admitting it.
The press is admitting it.
Yes, that's not even an issue anymore. They're saying, yes, we basically did this because we didn't want this to throw the election.
Now, guys, I still had to cover up the clip because HBO has this copyright thing with Real Time with Bill Maher. They don't have it so much with other, let's just say other properties that they have. Of course, we're still trying to figure out how to get around the copyright, which I think the copyright system can be abused. But here's the thing about Rob Reiner. Meathead, and by the way, that right there is what he was called on All in the Family. That's kind of sort of where he kind of got known for being who he is, and of course he became a director and starred in some movies. He's only made like a couple of good movies in my opinion, but every one of them have some type of political political pull to them, or some type of political messaging. The American president was by far one of the worst Democrat psyops I ever saw. However, A Few Good Men was actually pretty good. But the thing is this right here, guys. This right here is what I would expect from someone like Rob Reiner. He's always been a lib. He's always been on the left. And by the way, he also personifies the phrase fascist. You see, Rob at one time was a very, very big, let's just say that he was a very, very big hater of tobacco users. He demanded that they quit smoking. He went out of his way to lobby against smokers. The guy's basically a fascist. By the way, that kind of helps kind of make the case that fascism is actually left-wing. Of course, I've talked about it a few times that fascism is actually more left-wing than it is right-wing because it actually came from a left-winger. And of course, there's a whole other can of worms that, by the way, we may discuss in a later video. But don't worry, I think I'll probably leave another video in the description box from another YouTube content creator who actually explained this very, very well. But this right here does not surprise me. As a matter of fact, the January 6 people, the people who continue to go on about January 6, there's only one incident in there that involved anybody getting hurt or any type of use of force being used on anybody, and it was actually Babbitt, who was shot by a Secret Service agent. Yeah, now I'm not going to discuss that there very, very much, but it was also a police officer who died of a heart attack shortly after the whole thing began. So I don't recall deadly force actually being used in January 6th outside that one incident involving Ashley Babbitt. You guys can feel free to disagree with me in the comment section, but anybody and everybody that's a lib that I've ran into has kind of not exactly woken up to this. And by the way, they still go out there of their way to say that the Russiagate thing was real when Russiagate was clearly, and I mean clearly debunked, clearly trying to be a hoax. You know what else trying to be a hoax? The Steele dossier. All that crap trying to be a giant hoax. Just like this recent attempt at Mar-a-Lago has turned out to be a great big giant nothing burger because, of course, the redacted version of this affidavit, for the most part, has been blacked out. It's absolutely hilarious, and these people being bots the way they are doesn't really surprise me. So, no, I'm not surprised that Rob Reiner probably sits around and watches MSNBC and sits there and watches the Weave Lord, Joy Reid, probably every night before he goes to bed, or at least I would guess that he watches the Weave Lord, then he watches the female version, the Jerry Seinfeld lookalike, Rachel Madcow. Now let's talk about Maher, guys. I have said this on multiple occasions that Bill Maher is simply dealing with the reality that he helped to create. Bill is a very, very secular person. Okay, I'm not here to beat up on him about being an atheist or anything like that. Me personally, I don't care what your religious denomination is. I'm Christian. Okay, if you're Muslim, whatever, I really truly don't care. As long as you're not coming in here and putting like radicalized messages in my comment section, I really truly don't care what you do. But Bill bases a lot of the things he says off a lot of false premises. Now, guys, we may do a video on a later date about that. But the thing about Bill is that Bill has always been anti-anything to the right. Now, yes, he does go on like Ben Shapiro's podcast, his show. He goes on some right-leaning people's shows. Of course, he's been on Mike Tyson. By the way, there'll probably be a video out on Mike Tyson where he's kind of came out as a bit of a, well, I'll just kind of leave it right there because I'll probably do a video and release it tomorrow on that there as well. But the thing is this right here. Bill has always been this way. And Bill is now waking up to the reality of the environment that he helped create. He's always donated to the Democratic Party. He's always donated to liberal policies. He's very, very much a secular person. And he's always been like this. Now, guys, Bill Maher's Trump derangement syndrome is ridiculous, too. I would not say that it is as bad as Sam Harris's or Rob Reiner's. But basically what you've got right here is that you've got a secular lib fighting with libs that, quite frankly, are still somewhat radicalized and are kind of in that NPC mindset, which, by the way, is what most libs really and truly are, is NPCs. You ever get into a discussion with them, you ask them to give you an actual honest-to-God example, and they give you something that, quite frankly, they saw on the media, which, by the way, had gotten debunked weeks prior. I mean, dude, I was around a lib like 2 weeks ago, and they still believed everything about January 6th, everything about Russia collusion, even though a lot of the crap had been debunked. And, of course, as I said before, there's really only one incident where deadly force was used that day, and, of course, it was a Secret Service agent using it, I would say, unjustly on Ashley Babbitt. Fact of the matter is that Bill has not changed. Bill is just simply getting the comeuppance that, quite frankly, I think he deserves, which, by the way, is dealing with the loons that he kind of sort of created. Let me give you guys one last example before I hop off the tube. And by the way, the vaccines video will also be out tomorrow as well. I'm not going to be around here in the morning, so I'm making my videos on Sunday night and releasing them on Monday. Let me give you guys a quick example. If you guys are familiar with TYT, Jimmy Dore, and you guys are familiar with all the left-wing loons that go on the internet and talk, all the Twitch streamers, all those guys, they're basically bred too. There was an incident that occurred about a year and a half ago. I'm not going to go too far into it. but it was the whole force the vote thing between Jimmy and Jink. Now, Jimmy is of the Blame America crowd, okay? He's very, very much to the left, okay? I've referenced him a few times in videos before. Just because he says something that somebody agrees with from time to time, or just because he does a decent job of calling out the media, does not mean that he's any different than the other crowd. However, he is definitely to the left of Jink. He's definitely to the left of Anna. They got into it over a floor vote for Nancy Pelosi's speakership, where they were going to try to get free health care. It was the whole force the vote mess. I'm not going to get too far into it. But I think it was another YouTube content creator who, by the way, I can't remember exactly who it was, but I've heard this at least 3 or 4 other times from other ones, so I can't actually pinpoint the actual one, who said that Jimmy Dore was the logical, and I mean logical, how do I say this really quick? This was the logical result of being around somebody like Jink, or listening to Jink all the time, because Jink's always been a bit of a zealot. Rob Reiner, and most of liberal Hollywood, in my opinion, is the result of Bill Maher. You see, Bill Maher helped create this stuff, okay? He's been espousing liberal ideas for a while, and of course, the left has gone way too far. And of course, the chickens have come home to roost for him, because now he is seeing a bit of an error of his ways. But he's not been red-pilled, trust me. He's not going to change. He's not going to start voting Republican or anything. By the way, I do find it funny, though, that he is out there basically. I do find it funny that he did say he would consider DeSantis. Do not fall for that crap, okay? That right there is a trap. A lot of these people will set you up by pitching another candidate to go for. Bill Clinton did this one time on Bill O'Reilly, saying Hunt's been speaking some very, very good stuff back in 2012, trying to get people to maybe like go vote third party for somebody else. They do this crap all the time, so do not be fooled. No, Bill Maher has not been red-pilled. Bill Maher is simply, and he may have been red-pilled on the LGBTQ issue, but Bill Maher is simply coping with the environment and the people that he kind of helped create. Guys, John Claymore, if you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sign up in the comment section. There will be a video out on the vaccines, a video that I meant to release yesterday and I meant to have out today. That video there will be coming out tomorrow to go along with this one right here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, share, leave a comment in the comment section. I'll see you guys later.
I'm not like everybody